It's so cute. It's so cute. We
Oh, look at you, Helen.
That's Elf, you guys. Elf's our guest today. I forgot to hook up the music for our Sweetbread intro. My bad, my bad. But next time, Elf, we're even gonna have music. How cute was it? That was my Sweetbread.
Amazing.
We're big fans. Like, the longer you look at it, there's just more and more to see, right? Like, you were saying bread friend Elf. Too cute.
Yeah, there's some good details in there.
We stand. If you want to follow Bread,
Yeah.
exclamation mark Bread in Twitch chat. Also, hi Roki from Brazil. There, Mado's on it. How are you doing, Mado? How do you feel about your pixel self in the Bread's intro?
I'm very. I mean, it's we got this commission as like my shop of Otherworldly goods, and I think Sweetbread did an amazing job with like putting all these cool little trinkets and these little, and it's really cool. We probably post it later, so that way people can see all the little details a bit more. But there's like ton of Easter eggs that are hidden in there. I love it. She put so much effort into bring it to life.
I couldn't agree more. Cool. And I see you in chat. Please let me know if my audio balancing is ever off. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Strongwise True. Well, I agree. That intro is with us. It adds so much, and it really establishes the kind of lore behind our stream setup here. Obviously, we are in Madotsuki, Magus Devon's shop of otherworldly goods every week. That is the aesthetic. So it just adds to that. We love lore here. That's why Elf is here today. Elf is one of the co-creators of Magic Machine. He is the keeper of lore. And who better to talk about the lore episode with us, right?
That's right.
I guess, like, let's just get right into intros because I don't know how many people here are familiar with all that is the Forgotten Ruins Wizards called. I have this rad video from your New York event you had a while ago. I'm hoping you can tell us about decentralized world building and why, Elf, did you call it a cult when you set up this whole world that this game is based on?
Yeah, great. Yeah, great question. Yeah, why did I call it a cult? Because in the crypto community at large, the word cult is used often, sort of in a tongue-in-cheek way, not really derisively, but just as a way to describe just the crypto community. Sort of. I feel like a lot of people in crypto have like a secret knowledge about a technology that's somewhat cryptic, that the rest of the world doesn't fully understand yet. And so, when NFTs came along, nobody was using that word to the full effect. And we were building a project based around magic and secret knowledge. And so, Dota and I thought the word cult would be really interesting to put into the title of the project. And it's funny because, like, a lot of people think cult has a bad connotation, which sometimes it does. So we were even a little hesitant to use it at first, but we landed on it, and I think it works perfectly now.
I concur. You still need to say, Mado, go for it.
Yeah, I was saying cult work. In general, you hit the nail on the head where it's like, it's very, very cultist, but like it's tongue in cheek, but it fits because it's like you get a lot of the actual, like, separation, and then it's truly organic in terms of like everybody's like actually and then like pushing it. A moment, I have like a on my end. Sorry, it's like wrong. Give me one. You can. Ian, I have a quick back. My headphones are messing up.
Yeah, that's cool. We have the old, as we say when we're getting audio glitches here, the quantum shadow is taking over the stream a little bit. So
That's exactly what's happening.
the quantum shadow is getting Mado at the moment, but we will overcome. I also saw Irving in chat, who's here every week. We love Irving. Was saying that cult is culture. Do you agree, Elf?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. That's definitely another reason. There's so many fun ways to use the word cult, you know. And I'll say one more thing about it. Like, I'm a big fan of using word inversions. So, like, you know, even the word forgotten in the Forgotten Runes Wizards called context, it means to be remembered. And so cult, you know, one bad connotation is like group think, where everybody's thinking the same. But if you know anything about our cult, we encourage everybody to express their individuality. I mean, that's what owning a wizard or a warrior is all about, which is, you know, making that wizard stand out by putting their mark on the world, by putting their rune on the door. So it's almost an anti-cult cult. We're really about like self-discovery and self-liberation, and yeah, so
I
it's
love it.
kind of the inverse as well.
Speaking of wizards, I have here your wizard, the famous Black Goat here. Can you tell us about your very own wizard and their story? I'm getting black magic, am I right?
Yeah, there's a little bit of black magic involved, but it's actually a good segue from the cult conversation because you know, a part of his lore is like, what does it mean to be a cult leader? That wizard is literally serial number one. He's my wizard. I sort of founded Forgotten Runes Wizards cult along with my partners. So like, we all call ourselves cult leaders, again, tongue in cheek. But like, the black goat is sort of a really interesting symbol and motif throughout art history, especially in Romanticism, which Helen, you and I have talked about before. And it's, you know, the black coat is sort of seen as like this this guide who initiates a person into sort of mystery and secret knowledge. The wood from which the black coat is from, the black coat of the wood, you know, the forest is seen as like a place of mystery and transformation. And so the black goat is pulling people into the wood to discover secret knowledge and find themselves. So that's roughly what the black goat is about. He's just sort of an esoteric cult leader who encourages people to sort of shed the confines of the normal everyday world, come into the wood, discover themselves, and sort of really become their own leader after that transformation.
I love it. Big fan of the Black Goat of the Wood here. So that is a little taste of some of the lore discussion we're going to have throughout this stream today. Oh, also Roki is saying, it's a nice skin. I mean, it's a nice wizard. It's the whole goat is awesome. Now, before we get into all the fun times, we'll get through some housekeeping here. We have a few announcements, pretty light this week, but let's do that. First up, we're on TikTok now. There's a bit of a social media takeover going on with us cultists in the room. If you do !TikTok in chat, that will pull up the link for TikTok if you'd like to join us there. But also part of this is we're all over the place. This is a video in which I, on Twitter, X, a few days ago, said if you follow us, you know, we're gonna do a giveaway of a homestead on each platform: YouTube, X, and Twitter and Instagram. So if you have those, please join us. We're upping our marketing, we're upping our presence as we get ready for our next major update. You can do ! Any of those platforms, !X, Twitter, or sorry, TikTok, ! Instagram, and it'll pull up direct links. And we're gonna do the homestead giveaway tomorrow, so you can check it out there. We'll announce winners tomorrow. They'll be chosen and announced. Speaking of the next update that we're gearing up for, the Runiverse Direct is going to be where we tell you all about it. This is kind of an in-between week. We have some big news coming up, and we're in a bit of a quiet before the storm. So You can expect a lot more to be revealed in the Runiverse Direct. If you'd like to check out the first Runiverse Direct, which was even before launch, but you can get a sense of what it's all about, Elf was in it, you can do !direct. Okay, that's all my news. News is done.
All right.
Last week, Elf, we were touring some wizard homes, and one of the wizards that recommended their home to us, I didn't see until after the stream, and they had a really cool house. So they have the honor of the cult leader seeing it with us today. Here we go, I'll cut to gameplay for it.
And I have strong opinions on interior design, so I can't wait to see this.
Well, with cool wallpaper with monkeys invoking White Lotus like that, I mean, I can only imagine. So this is Chrisman 101's home in High Peaks. Look who's here. Hello. Saying hi to YouTube. What do you think, Elf?
I can't see it actually. I'm not sure which screen you're looking at.
You'll probably have to go to one of the streams. So we're streaming on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch.
Okay,
Too many T words.
I can see the stream. I can see the stream on X, and I can see on Google Meet. But would it be there?
Yeah, on X. Although you might have some stream delay.
Okay, I definitely have some stream delay.
It's for
It's on Twitch right now, but X seems to be delayed a few bit.
Oh, then Twitch is our best friend. Twitch.tv/Forgotten Runiverse.
Okay, all right, hold on. Let me find this.
I see a rat, and I know Mado loves rats.
I love rats. I need to fill my house with dead rats.
How's your audio doing, Mado? Are you back with us from the Quantum Shadow?
I hope so. I had to reconnect my. I don't know.
Well, I don't know if it's just me. It sounds a touch quiet compared to Elf, so I don't know if we can amp it up somehow, but we're doing well. Oh, Ox Usurper is saying a cool cockatrice hologram. I concur. We've got the hologram and the statue here.
Yeah, I can see it now. And first of all, I'm impressed with how big your house is. Yeah, and I love the wizard statue right in the middle at the end of the little corridor that you've built. I love the bed situation. Is that a floating bookshelf?
It's a pretty fancy bookshelf. We've got a tree bookshelf.
Yeah.
They're saying they have that section, a toy section for kids. Love that. Thinking of the children.
Now, I think one change I might make is I noticed over on the right side, or sorry, the left side.
Left side?
There are some large magical tomes, those books.
Aha! Important looking, aren't they?
I would put one of those by the bed because you got to have some good bedtime reading before you go to sleep. And what better than like a very large, esoteric, cryptic book of magic to read right before bed?
I agree completely. I love a good esoteric crisis right before I go to sleep.
Exactly.
You see, Lord,
Oh no.
But yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I love it.
What's at the? Oh, so you got some cactuses.
They are being moved. It's confirmed by the. Oh, yep, they've moved just for you, Elf. The recommendation was appreciated.
Perfect.
It does look very cozy now.
All the people in your home. I seem to like move it just like straight up and other people in their home.
That'll help you sleep at night and probably give you really good dreams.
I think so. Well,
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you for welcoming us into your home. Oh, and your art too. I see Rune's TCG action on the wall.
Yeah, I love the artwork. That's really good.
So cool. I'll say thank you for having us. The place looks amazing. Biggest house you've seen on stream yet. So, all right, I'll head on out. And then, speaking of tomes and existential crisis, right, Elf? Like, you're full of great transitions between scenes. Let's get into our lore discussion here.
We call that quantum synchronicity.
Naturally. It sounds like magic to me. So I don't know how many people are really familiar with the lore of the world already, so I figure we should start with the basics. Can you talk about how magic came to be in the world?
Yeah, I'd love to. So the the runic supercontinent is basically planet Earth, our world, sometime in the distant future. And some force caused the continents to recollide into a new Pangea. That force was the technological singularity, which is a real thing that literally could potentially happen in our future. The technological singularity is an event where technological progress becomes so rapid that it becomes nearly a vertical line. So like imagine if, for example, artificial intelligence was trained on quantum computers. You could imagine like suddenly a sort of omniscient godlike intelligence, a godlike entity would suddenly come into being in an instant and would potentially solve all of humanity's problems, answer every question, devise every technological advance in an instant. It's called the technological singularity. Ray Kurzweil is a big proponent of this idea. And so in the Forgotten Runiverse, this is when magic itself is brought into the world. This image that Helen has on the screen right now is sort of an ancient, futuristic diagram depicting how magic comes into the world. So what we're looking at here is white light, which is the singularity, being refracted through what's called a chroma crystal into 6 different colors. And those 6 different colors represent a different form of color magic. You will also notice that a piece of earth is being lifted in a sort of tectonic shift way. This is how the continents are recolliding into a runic supercontinent. And yeah, this is how the color magic at least comes into being. And if you'll notice in the Wizards collection, there are different hat colors represented by these colors we see on this diagram. And yeah, that's how magic comes into being. If that makes sense.
That is the perfect intro, yes. So for those who don't know, it goes deep. The colors of magic go very deep.
Yep.
Now I'm thinking, before we dive deeper into colors of magic, and I'm very curious where the black goat lands, to be honest, but before we get into that, I think we should do our first giveaway. So we promised the people mana. If you're on Twitch, you can do !mana. Yep, well done, Usurper, well done. Elf, would you like to do a 5-second countdown to choose the winner?
You just want me to count down from 5?
Sure do.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And the winner is Moon ZCX. No, XC. Moon ZXC. Please message the channel that you're watching right now on Twitch to let us know or what your email address is or your wallet address, and we will send that to your Forgotten Runes Wizards Cult account attached to one of those addresses. All right, that's our first winner.
I'm so glad that a person named Moon won this, because the moon is a very important symbol in our cult. So
tell me
more
more.
quantum.
You've got to tell me more. Tell me about the moon. Should I ask the Loracle to pull something?
Well, just real quick, the moon is sort of a symbol for our company is called Magic Machine, which is a sort of motif that I like to return to frequently. And so the moon is an example of a magic machine. It's traditionally associated with like dreams and emotion and intuition, and yet it operates like a machine. It operates with perfect regularity every month. The moon cycles never fail. It rotates the earth with perfect regularity. It's almost like a machine, and yet it has all these magical qualities. So I love the moon.
Oh, we love the moon in this house. I've pulled up the Loracle here so that, if we're off the cuff talking about cool things like the moon, we can pull up some Forgotten Ruins wizards called assets. The Loracle is... Actually, you can probably better explain what the Loracle is.
Sure, yeah. The Loracle is our AI that is trained on the Wikipedia, trained on the Book of Lore. I think there's maybe other things that go into its training, but it's just it's a central sort of oracle that you can chat with to ask it any sort of lore question you might have.
So cool. So we have the moon. And if you want to check it out, you can do !lore. It'll pull up a link straight to the Loracle for you in Twitch chat. Okay, so we have covered the colors of magic. Pretty big deal. We also have the Book of Lore. Can you tell me about the Book of Lore? And I've been wondering where in world it's kept, because like everything exists in the universe itself, right? So where is it canonically stored?
Yeah, it is stored in the Secret Tower. Yeah, you can see the Secret Tower on the map. The Secret Tower is the sort of portal through which all of the wizards and warriors were summoned to intersect with their real life owners on our planet, on our world. And so naturally the Book of Lore is kept there. What is the Book of Lore? It is, so when you own a wizard or a warrior, any character in the Forgotten Ruins world, one thing that gives you is you get access to the Book of Lore. You get to write about your character, or add art, or add any sort of media you want. Yeah, so this is Magus Devon's page right here. So as you can see, Mado has written tons of literature about his wizard. He's got a ton of artwork. And basically, this is how you bring your wizard to life. This is how you get to know your wizard, and really sort of get to know yourself, because your wizard is sort of your alter ego. Speaking about self-discovery earlier, this is the whole process of sort of developing the characters that you own. And so, yeah, the Book of Lore is just is a repository to keep all of this precious secret knowledge. I think there's like over 4,000 pages in the Book of Lore.
Oh my goodness! Thank goodness for the Loracle.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So the Book of Lore is like where all the sort of character information is kept, and then the Wikipedia is where a lot of more just general Runiverse knowledge is kept. And so those two things work together in a really strong way to do what we call decentralized world building. Right.
Okay. So tell me more about decentralized world building, because I know that's the whole ethos here, right?
Yeah. It's the whole point of the project. So yeah, I've actually given a TED talk on this, but basically, okay, so imagine, for the past 100 or so years, you've got these big fictional worlds like Middle Earth, or Westeros, or even like the Marvel universe. These are all mostly created by like single creators. So like J.R. Tolkien created Middle Earth and all the characters in it and the mythology around it. George R. Martin created Westeros, and that whole world. That process of creating a world and everything in it is called world building, and it's traditionally done mostly by one creator. So what Forgotten Runes is we're imagining, what if you could create a world, not by one person, but by an entire community of people, all building together. And we call that decentralized world building. And blockchain technology really made this possible in a way that has never really been possible before. And so, yeah, so when you buy a character, you have, you get the ability to really contribute and build this world through building your character. And yeah, that's decentralized world building. Did that make sense?
That made sense to me. Just hitting you with nonstop hitters. Sorry, Matt.
Yeah,
do you
no,
want...
I know you might have something to add to that.
I was gonna say, like, you know, I think these are perfect as kind of like templates for characters, because I think like they give just enough information for everybody without kind of building the entire character sheet that you get with it. You get like a Pixar, which is like a little res, well, you can kind of expand on that. It's kind of like you get like the old video game box art, how it's like just like artwork of like a muscular dude with freaking dance, because like I told 12 pixel of them is really like the cover. They get extrapolate, right? Like I did that with like my character, you know, like Caesar. She doesn't have as like the character design that Sweetbread made for me, but like you can definitely it's for when I joined within a plastic, feeling like these are great templates to work from, and it really sparks creativity, because like if you just kind of like look at the details that are there, you can build your own details on top of them and just kind of like expand others, and it's kind of like just this large interactive D&D with everybody else that, you know, they're building their characters alongside you, they're building the world alongside you, and there's just enough detail in there to work with that doesn't spoil everything for you.
Yeah, Matt, I'm so glad you mentioned that. Yeah, this is why we chose pixel art as the base NFT, because we see it as like a creative primitive. It's just a very simple image, and from that you can extrapolate all kinds of detail and stylistic interpretations from that very simple pixel art. You know, a lot of NFTs are highly detailed illustrations, but we wanted to make it very minimal so that it could just be like a seed of creation, a creative primitive. You know, this is what I loved about early 8-bit video games. You know, there wasn't a lot of detail in the artwork, and so it really stimulated the imagination to make you imagine like what these characters in these worlds could look like in the real world in another high-res style. But it's only possible if you start with really low-res pixel art.
Totally. Yeah, which you make yourself as well. So that all comes very nicely. I pulled up in our friend the Loracle, the Secret Tower. Do you want to talk more about it? Because I understand in Forgotten Runiverse, the game, the Secret Tower was a constant between dimensions, and it's for that reason the wizards were able to get back into existence from non-existence. We're getting kind of complicated here, but I think you're the man to talk to about complicated interdimensional travel, so...
Yeah. So when we first launched the project in 2021, on the website, when people came to the website, this is what they saw, this exact image you have pulled up right here. And there was no explanation what it was. All people saw was this tower. And the minting process required you to sort of interact with this tower. And when you minted, like a large beam of light came out of this tower, and then you summoned your wizard. And so, it basically meant to summon a wizard is to like interact with this digital avatar from another plane of existence. And yeah, I mean, it's called the Secret Tower because it's like sort of your gateway into this secret knowledge. It's got the 2 pillars. Those are supposed to represent you and your wizard. this tower is even featured in our animated trailer at the very beginning. And yeah, it's just sort of like a gateway into the world. And you can question whether it's like the wizard's gateway to you or your gateway to them. It's really both. It's it's a two-way mirror, I guess.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, I'm seeing some more exclamation mark manas in chat. So before we continue, shall we do our next prize? I think
Let's do it.
mana is where it's at. So here are giveaway instructions. We'll give people a few seconds to do exclamation mark mana. Let me win. I hear you. I hear you, Ranker NFT. Okay. What do you think, Mado? Would you like to do the 5-second countdown this time?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, mana.
I Steezy, AYE Steezy, you are our winner. So please message us, let us know what your email address is or what your wallet address is that you have attached to your Forgotten Runes Wizards, or sorry, your Forgotten Runiverse account, and we will send you 3,000 mana directly. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Yes, huge congrats. Okay, so the question of the hour. What is your color of magic and what is your wizard's color of magic, and are they the same, Elf? Do you align with your wizard?
Yeah, I mean, obviously black magic. So the interesting thing about black magic is that, okay, so first of all, that diagram that you held up earlier, you'll notice that black magic isn't even depicted on that. If I was to put it in that diagram, it would be on the outer edges, outside, because black magic is sort of outside of the recognized system of magic. It's sort of like imagine all of the magic, the expressions of magic occur on Earth. But then if you go off of Earth into outer space, it's just the void. It's pure black. There's no light. There's nothing. That's black magic. Black magic is the most powerful, overwhelming force in the universe. But that doesn't mean you would want to be a black magic user, because you totally lose yourself. You lose your humanity. You lose your identity. You basically have to sacrifice your soul to practice black magic. And a lot of people would call that evil, which is a sort of another name of my wizard. Now,
Uh-oh.
now let me caveat that. There is a way to sort of interpret this, that it's not like traditional evil that most people think of when they hear that word. It's another way to interpret it is sort of nonconformist and disruptive, sort of the type of figure who is an outsider, who is trying to disrupt the status quo. Generally, the status quo calls anyone who does that evil. Satoshi Nakamoto is sort of a maligned figure by the status quo, by the governments, by the banks, by the established financial system. Basically what I'm getting at is a lot of figures through history who sort of change the world. They are maligned as unsavory, disruptive characters when they first reveal themselves in their craft. Da Vinci was sort of seen that way. But history really remembers them, like, after all is said and done. So, it's just something that's like sort of fun to dabble in and play with for me, as just a metaphor and not like as a literal practice. It's just the idea of sort of being a rebel. And so, you know, I would say, you know, it's like I'm more fascinated by the concept of black magic than like actually selling my soul. uh, because, you know, if you know, I would say like if you sell your soul, then it's going to be replaced with a new fresh one. You know, you'll always have your soul, you always have your identity.
Oh, that's a fun
um
thought.
yeah, and so, you know, there's a difference between like being fascinated by the concept of disruption in the real world and then like representing it in literature and fantasy and media. You know, because at the end of the day, like literally all of this is just like sort of a an artistic metaphor for something in the real world.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know if that
As
was a
all
sort of
art
convoluted.
is.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, do you have, speaking of the world, any particular region that you're really drawn to in this whole huge, gorgeous map that we could get more into? Like, I don't even know anything about Kelpie Coast or Kobold Crossroads. I've just heard of these places. Are there any you'd want to highlight?
Man, there's so many. I mean, the Quantum Shadow is interesting. I like the Valley of the Gnostics. I like the Thorn. I like, you know, I like the jungles. Yeah, I don't know, Helen. I love a lot of them. I love the Elysian Fields.
Well, I have asked the Loracle here to tell me about the Thorn, because that is where Mado and I live, in Forgotten Runiverse.
Oh, nice.
So it's only right. Let's see what it pulls up here. We're getting an image of the world naturally. Oh, this is cool. Ooh, misty. So is the Thorn, I guess there's no good and evil in this world. Am I right on that?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's no good and evil. There's just conflicting forces all over the place.
Ooh, Chrisman 101 is in chat asking, Elf, can you tell me about High Peaks? That's where their house is in Forgotten Universe.
High Peaks. You know, I'm not even sure where that is.
It's very snowy. Let's pull it up on the map here.
It's a smaller area in like the north of the Runiverse. So it's not like on the map here because it's kind of a lot of zoned in areas that you would have to go to.
Yeah, so like this map, I created this map years ago, and then Bisonic, the game developer, filled in a lot of these places. But Mado, which rough region is it in? And maybe I could talk about that.
I'll pull the map on my end and see, because I know the rough
Wild
region.
Savannah. White Wizard Tower. Ooh. The Brine. I love that for an ocean name, I have to say. Oh, here we go. We've got a Snow Peaks image from the Loracle. Cute.
Oh, look at that. I love how they put the wizard in there.
Wait, that's so precious.
That is so good. I wonder who made that. That watercolor is amazing.
Let's see what the Loracle says. Who is this? One notable peak is the home of Ice Mage Zelroth of the Burge. The area is known for its breathtaking beauty, with vast expanses of snow and ice that challenge the adventurers and researchers who dare explore its secrets. Zelroth in particular has a routine of replenishing the wood supply in the backcountry refuges scattered across the northern peaks, a testament to the harsh yet awe-inspiring conditions of the high peaks. So there you go, decentralized world building in action.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, you know, even though I like laid the foundation for this world, the beauty of decentralized world building is like, I don't even know half the stuff that other creators have put into the world. You know, it's like the world has become so big so fast. Like if you ask Tolkien any detail about Middle Earth, he would know because he created it all. But in a decentralized world, like there's no central creative authority. So, you know, I didn't even know this about the world, and that's the beauty of it.
That's so fun.
Yeah, I think a good example of that is a good example is when you actually did like the V2 of the map and you expanded it, you included a lot of cult like creations in the map. So like, you specifically like asked people, what location have you milled? And
Right.
like from that, we ended up getting like Penguin Capital, which I made all the way up in the north. and then we ended up having like a whole bunch of nice areas. Oh, black sand is a really good example too. So
Yes.
it's like this community creates to make it like canonically onto the map, which is like pretty cool.
Right.
Should I pull up black sand? Show me the black sands. Black sand.
High
Yeah.
Peak, like right above, High Peaks is right above the Valley of the Gnostics.
Oh.
Black sand is a it's a region noted by volcanic black sand, but the most notable thing that happens there is there's horse racing there, but not just horses. There's all kinds of creatures that race, mostly horses, but other creatures as well, and a lot of them are even mechanical horses.
So tell me about pony racing. Oh, what about Sun Heaven? Shagaji's wondering. I haven't heard of Sun Heaven. Sounds
I haven't heard
pleasant.
about that. It sounds like it might be in there's a region far to the east that I sort of modeled after those those regions in the southwestern United States, like Arizona, like where a lot of like new age crystal worshipping hippies like hang out in the desert and meditate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's a region in the Runiverse map that's sort of modeled after that. I think it's called Halcyon something. I'm like blanking on the Halcyon Sanctum.
Halcyon Sanctum? Or Halcyon, like Halcyon Days?
Yeah. It's below Chroma Crystal Row. It's above Obsidian City.
That sounds amazing.
But yeah, it's like a desert retreat where a lot of wizards and warriors go to retire or study sun magic.
All right. I spelled Halcyon wrong, but... Oh. Go ahead, Mado.
Oh, we should host Wizstock there.
Yeah. Wizstock, yes. I forgot about Wizstock.
Oh my gosh, what is Wizstock?
Wizstock is a music festival that I think maybe occurred twice, where a lot of the musicians from the cult basically had a music festival.
Wait, that's so rad. That's the coolest. Also, I pulled up what was it? Halcyon
Sanctum. Yep, that's it. Yeah, it's a meditative retreat in the desert. They study crystal magic, sun magic. And yeah, it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, shall we do one more giveaway here? We only have one more left.
Let's do it.
All right. Final giveaway instructions. Pulling them up. Exclamation mark.
Mado, let's alternate 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I love it.
Oh, that's gonna be hard. Let's try.
Let's try. Okay, I'll go first. 5,
4,
3,
2,
1.
Mono.
And the winner is Oxnox3. OXNOX3. So just let us know your email address or wallet attached to your account, and we'll hook you up with your winnings. 3,000 mana coming straight to your account. Pretty sweet. Honestly, I think that countdown went really well.
It did.
Now, Mado, I know I've been kind of blowing through questions just because, I don't know, I get excited talking about lore anytime, but I also was sensitive to the Quantum Shadow takeover. Before we sign off, are there any questions you wanted to ask Elf or anything you thought would be cool to highlight?
Yeah, let's see. You know, I've always been interested in what you think of the Quantum Downs. The way that I've always depicted it in my head is kind of like almost like having hazy and maybe like kind of like like some hills that have a lot of like twists and turns, so they're a little bit like disorienting. But I kind of want to know your take on it.
Mado, that description is spot on in my head. What the only thing I would add is like, so generally quantum-based magic is supposed to be somewhat confusing and chaotic, and difficult to wield, difficult to grasp. But I think the Quantum Downs is a place where wizards have sort of mastered quantum magic. It's it's a place that's like it puts together two things that should not necessarily be together, which is quantum magic and then calm stability. But that's what the Quantum Downs is, which I think is perfect for you, because you've even I remember you've even come on to Wizard Wednesday and sort of pontificated about quantum mechanics better than anyone. And so you are a perfect person to be living in the Quantum Downs, be wielding quantum magic. So it's perfect, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I've always wanted to know more about what you think about it. And I'm glad that my thoughts about how it's oriented are spot on with your digging too.
Yeah, that's great.
Beautiful. Well, we can end on the Quantum Downs. I should point out that when I asked the Loracle about the Quantum Downs, we got, first of all, a cool Quantum Downs shirt, which is sick. And also it mentions Magus Devon being a key figure connected to its mysteries. Ooh la la.
Amazing. Yeah. That's one of our better shirts. I've seen that shirt around.
We gave a few away at East Denver. And the hat was popular with your wizard. Sorry, Mado, I think I cut you off.
No, I said exactly what you said. I said we gave them at Denver.
Perfect. And a lot of hats featuring the black goat. Okay, so I guess, I don't know how to word this. I feel like this is kind of my last question, if I can find the correct wording here. It seems like the black goat might consider himself a hero, but like the other wizards in the Runiverse might be like wary of him. I thought it was interesting how you talked about him as, look, he's trying to free people in the woods, okay? But
Yeah.
I would like to know how you think a white wizard would describe the black goat.
Yeah, they would be antagonistic towards each other. Another motif I find interesting is the scapegoat, which is like this figure where like a big group of people, either a village or a community or a cult, they put all of their sins onto this poor animal, or this like dumb farm animal, and they send it out into the desert, and then the community is healed. And so I think, I think that's just another interesting association with a cult leader, where like eventually, like most of the cults we've seen in the past, they all have this sort of cataclysmic ending. Whether it's like mass suicide or what have you. So, if I ever come on here and I ask you all to drink Kobold Kool-Aid or something, just pass it up.
Got it. Will do. You can count on it.
I'm just letting you know right now.
Oh, cool. So I guess that's the kind of thing a white wizard might be like, hold on. You're embodying your wizard.
Kool-Aid.
What's up, Meadow?
What color is Kobold Kool-Aid out? What color is Kobold Kool-Aid?
Oh, it's definitely a sort of yellowish color.
Oh.
Okay,
Noted.
thanks for clarifying.
All right. Well,
there's a probably the biggest conflict in our cult, Helen, is what color is a kobold, and we can leave that to the next episode, because
okay.
it'll take hours to discuss.
Should we ask the Loracle and then leave it at that?
Oh no! Oh yeah, I'm very curious what the Oracle says.
Let's ask what the
actually.
Loracle says. Here we go.
Yeah,
Scholars in the Runiverse have debated this for ages.
exactly.
Kobolds are known for their distinctive green skin.
Okay, Helen, just between you and me right now, you see that picture of a kobold? What color is that? What color is that?
This is like the dress debate. Listen, I'm like biased because of the Loracle, but I'm seeing green.
Nah,
I'm sorry. Is he yellow to you? Is he yellow? Because
that is yellow.
I can make an argument for yellow, but my instinct is green.
That is yellow. See, now we're getting into it. Now we're getting.
Get to it. Well, now that's some deep lore to end on, I'd say.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The most controversial lore ever.
I appreciate you joining us. I appreciate you bringing hot debates to the stream from the cult. If you, dear viewers, would like to hear more from Elf or find out more about the philosophies that shaped the Forgotten Runes Wizards cult, I highly recommend checking out his Summoning Circle interview. He is episode 4. Watch Elf on episode 4 and Mado on episode 1. If you do !summon, you can pull up that link. That's !summon in Twitch chat to hear more from Elf. Where else can people find you, Elf? What other stuff is going on?
On X at Elf J Trul. And that's about it, really.
Fair enough. Well, thanks again. Anything you'd like to add before we sign off, Mado? Or Elf?
No, I was just gonna say kobolds are yellow. That's all I was gonna say.
Oh, good.
Okay, I'm gonna sign off before we get too deep in the Kobold debate. I think I've caused drama. Okay, thanks all for being here. Bye, everyone.